The little yellow house on Birchwood Lane had always been filled with warmth, the kind of warmth that smelled like cinnamon tea, old books, and the soft hum of a grandmother humming while stirring soup. For 14 years, that house was where Margaret Dawson poured her entire heart into raising her granddaughter, Lily. Lily had come into Margaret's life like a quiet miracle. Her daughter, Jessica, had been just 17, young, reckless, terrified when she gave birth. For 1 year, Jessica tried to be a mother, but the weight of responsibility, combined with a bad relationship and pressure she wasn't ready for, became too heavy. One morning, when Lily had barely learned to say mama, Jessica walked out the front door and didn't come back. No goodbye, no explanation, just an empty crib and a grandmother left holding a baby who deserved better. Margaret never talked badly about her daughter. She simply held Lily close and whispered, "You're safe with me, always." And for 14 years, she kept that promise. Every morning, Margaret packed Lily's lunch, braided her hair, and walked her to school. Every evening, she helped with homework, stitched her school badges, and read stories aloud until Lily fell asleep. They grew into each other's routines like roots of the same tree. Lily excelled in school. She loved drawing, baking, and making up little songs during chores. She would often say, "Grandma, when I grow up, I'm going to buy you a big house." And Margaret would always reply with a soft laugh, "All I need is you, sweetheart." Life felt steady, quiet, gentle, safe. But one autumn afternoon, all of that changed. Margaret had just placed a tray of cornbread in the oven when someone knocked at the door. She wiped her hands on her apron, expecting a neighbor or delivery boy. Instead, when she opened the door, her breath caught. Standing there was Jessica, her daughter, older now, sharper features, hair styled, clothes expensive, posture stiff. "Mom," Jessica said, the word almost mechanical. Before Margaret could react, another person stepped forward, a tall man with glasses, carrying a leather briefcase. "Good afternoon," I said smoothly. "I'm attorney Paul Granger. I represent Miss Dawson regarding her petition for custody of her daughter." Margaret's heart dropped into her stomach. "Custody?" she whispered. "Jessica, what are you talking about?" Jessica lifted her chin. "I've cleaned up my life. I have a career now, an apartment, stability. I want Lily back." Behind Margaret, a small voice trembled. "Grandma, who is that?" Lily had come down the stairs, wearing her school uniform, holding a half-colored drawing. Jessica's eyes flickered over her, almost analyzing her, like a stranger might. "Lily," she said, forcing a smile. I'm your mother." Margaret instinctively stepped between them. "Lily, go upstairs," she whispered. "It's okay. Grandma's here." But Lily's eyes were wide. She wasn't fooled. The days that followed were heavy. Papers arrived, court dates were set. Jessica never called, never visited, never tried to talk to Lily outside of legal channels. Everything went through her lawyer, clean, cold, emotionless. Margaret barely slept. She worried every moment. How could a court understand the love she and Lily shared? How could they see the bedtime stories, the scraped knees, the tears wiped, the milestones celebrated? Legal systems looked at documents, not hearts. One night, Lily crept into Margaret's room and curled under her blanket. "Grandma," she whispered, "what if they take me?" Margaret felt her chest tighten. "Oh, sweetheart," she murmured, stroking her hair, "you're safe with me." "But she's my mother," Lily said quietly. "Does that mean she gets to choose?" Margaret closed her eyes. There were no easy answers. "We'll let the truth speak," she finally said. "Truth always knows where it belongs." Lily held her tighter. The day of the hearing arrived. The courtroom smelled like paper, old wood, and something cold. Margaret sat at one table, hands trembling. Jessica sat at the opposite side, confident, composed, like she belonged in a magazine. Lily sat behind her grandmother, gripping her backpack straps. The judge opened the session. Jessica spoke first. She talked about growing up too fast, making mistakes, trying to rebuild her life, having a stable job as a manager, wanting a chance to be the mother she should have been. Her lawyer added, "A biological parent is always the primary custodian unless proven unfit." Margaret exhaled shakily. Then came her turn. She stood slowly, a small woman with tired eyes and a heart that had carried 14 years of love. "I'm not trying to take my daughter's place," she began. "I'm trying to protect the child she left behind." She described Lily's first fever, first day of school, the nights she cried missing a mother she didn't remember. She spoke about ballet recitals, scraped knees, and whispered prayers at bedtime. "She's not my burden," she said softly. "She's my blessing." Jessica's lawyer interjected sharply. "So you claim you never tried to contact Miss Dawson?" Margaret's voice trembled. "She left no forwarding address, no phone number, no way to reach her. I wasn't hiding Lily, I was raising her." The courtroom murmured. Finally, the judge looked toward Lily. "Miss Lily Dawson, would you like to speak?" "Only if you're comfortable." Lily stood, a 14-year-old girl with steady eyes, trembling hands, and a courage she didn't know she had. She walked to the front, carrying a thick folder. "My grandma is my home," she said simply. She held up old drawings, stick figures labeled "Me and Grandma." She showed report cards, photos of birthdays, a certificate from her violin recital. She never missed anything, not one single thing. Her voice cracked as she continued. "My mother left. I don't blame her, but she's a stranger. You don't just walk into someone's life after 14 years and say, 'Come with me.' That's not how love works." Jessica's eyes filled with tears, real ones this time. Then Lily reached into her folder again and pulled out something unexpected, a small, crumpled envelope. "I wrote her letters," she said. "Every year on my birthday. Grandma mailed them. None were returned, so someone must have gotten them." Jessica looked like she'd been punched. Inside those letters were drawings, birthday wishes, the words, "I hope you're okay," messages Jessica had never answered. Lily's voice softened. "Grandma didn't take me away from her. She gave me a life when no one else wanted to." Silence fell so thick you could hear the judge's breath. Finally, Lily said, with a maturity far beyond her age, "I don't want to lose the only parent I've ever had." And just like that, the courtroom cracked open. The judge wiped his eyes discreetly. "Based on the child's clear preference, emotional well-being, and long-term stability," he said slowly, "primary custody remains with the grandmother." Margaret gasped. Lily sobbed and threw herself into her arms. Even Jessica broke, truly broke, sinking into her chair as tears streamed down her face. She covered her mouth, as if realizing the weight of the years she lost. After the judge dismissed the room, Jessica walked towards them with hesitant steps. "Mom, Lily, I'm so sorry. I thought coming back strong would fix everything. I didn't realize I'd missed her whole life." Margaret stood up. "You haven't lost her," she said quietly. "You just have to earn her." Jessica nodded, wiping her face. Lily hesitated, then whispered gently, maybe we can start slowly. Maybe coffee sometime." Jessica smiled through tears. "I'd like that. More than you know." That night, the little yellow house felt warmer than ever. Snow drifted outside as Margaret made hot chocolate. 2 mugs, one for her and one for Lily. They curled under the old quilt on the sofa. "Grandma," Lily murmured. "Yes, sweetheart. You are my forever home." Margaret kissed her forehead, tears shining. "And you," she whispered, "are the greatest gift life ever gave me." For the first time in a long, long while, everything felt right.